Whenever things are brought up like Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who's going to be that last vote on unleashing these Epstein files, at least the discharge petition for these Epstein files, they want nothing to do with it.
Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1, the House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. on Friday, October 24, 2025.
Republicans in the House open session and then they close session. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, we're in a government shutdown. All we can do is do nothing because Mike Johnson told them to do nothing. As you heard, I believe that was Jamie Raskin that was trying to yell from the back gallows, I guess, to trying to get some kind of recognition so they could swear in this last Democratic representative. Like I said, it wasn't the first time they've done this.
Is approved. The chair will lead the House in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1, the House stands adjourned until 3:30 p.m. on Friday, October 3rd at 2025.
It's almost like they're being told to make sure nothing else happens, that none of this goes down, but the pressure continues on. These are actions without a plan on the back end of it. It has to come to a head. I'm not sure what the plan was, mostly because they follow behind Donald Trump, who posted this. This is actually one of the main drivers behind his addiction to making sure nothing else happens. Third-rate Congressman Thomas Massie, a weak and pathetic rhino from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, a place I love and won big 6 times, must be thrown out of office ASAP. You gonna throw him out of office? The incredible people of Kentucky's 4th Congressional District gave us a mandate to make America great again. And the person that will help us do that is Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and 5th-generation Kentucky farmer Captain Ed Gallerin, a true America First patriot. He goes into more about Ed Gallerin, but on the back in the 3rd paragraph of this long-ass post says, I hope Ed gets into the race against Massie, who is now polling at about 9% because the great people of Kentucky are wise to him. He only votes against the Republican Party, making life very easy for the radical left. Unlike lightweight Massie, a total ineffective loser who has failed us so badly, Captain Ed Gallerin is a winner who will not let you down. Should he decide to challenge Massie, Captain Ed Gallerin has my complete and total endorsement. Run, Ed. Run, MAGA. Donald Trump is trying to campaign for this guy who apparently isn't even in any kind of race or has announced anything against Thomas Massie. But he wants Thomas Massie kicked out ASAP. Is it you want to kick him out ASAP, or is it you want someone to run against him up in these midterms that I don't think he really wants anyone to actually vote in? He's doing this because he's scared straight about what's possibly going to happen here with another vote coming in. That is in the form of Adelita Grijalva to jump on to this Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna sponsored a discharge petition. The very biggest thing in this country right now with this MAGA Republican Party and this MAGA president is to avoid that from happening. But the pressure is building up. I don't think this guy got the memo. Senator Kevin Cramer.
I think the leader and the speaker are in sync on this. It may be getting to be time for him to bring the House back into session, if for no other reason, to just start doing other legislation and perhaps to swear in the House member from Arizona that they're so uptight about.
Yeah. They're so uptight about swearing in Adelita Grijalva. You mean doing that normal thing? You mean following the normal rules and procedures? You mean not blocking someone who was voted in by the people in her district? By not blocking him, I mean, these Democrats, I mean, they're over here hyperventilating. I guess they're going to finally have to, these grievances about us doing our jobs. Pay attention to what they say and how they don't want you to think that them doing their jobs is a normal thing. James Comer's so stupid, another Republican congressman. He doesn't realize that as he steps in front of a camera to do his part in covering up these Epstein files for Donald Trump, that no one is buying that snake oil that he keeps selling. This is what he said. I saw this and I was like, this has to be AI.
Let's be clear. Democrats don't care about transparency or accountability in this matter. The evidence we've gathered does not implicate President Trump in any way. Public reporting, survivor testimony, and official documents show that Bill Clinton had far closer ties to Epstein.
James Comer's dumb ass, who ran a 1.5 year long investigation into Joe Biden talking about business collusions and all that stuff. Think about that when we look at this president that's in the White House right now. This guy said Bill Clinton had far closer ties to Jeffrey Epstein than Donald Trump. That's what their findings, that's what witness testimony and all told them. Far closer ties. So that means Donald Trump had close ties. It's just Bill Clinton had far closer ties. I have a great idea, Jimmy. How about you go after both of them? That's a great idea. The good news about not being in a cult that supports Bill Clinton as their deity, as the person who gives them life, is that if Bill Clinton is implicated in this, take down Bill Clinton too. But these guys can't do that. All they can do is say, cut and dry case, it's all over, isn't it? Done with this. Bill Clinton had closer ties based on our evidence and our findings that we won't let you know any of, and also other evidence and findings that we absolutely refuse to release or even look at. It makes you wonder, why is it that this Republican Party is so hell-bent from shutting down the government and making sure that it stays closed to then acting like they've adjudicated all the evidence behind these files to ignoring all of those survivors of the Epstein sex trafficking ring that were children during the time, coming forward, standing out in front of the Capitol and demanding that they do something about it. As we see all that go down and all that James Comer can come up with is, we found that Bill Clinton has far closer ties to Epstein than Donald Trump did. We're all done with our investigation. But warning here, because this is the dark part of the stream that I was telling you guys about earlier. There's folks who have alleged abuse from Donald Trump. We've heard many of it. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this one. It's one of them. I think it's been shared a lot. But if you haven't seen it, this is one accuser. I'm not sure if this was her alias that she was going by, but it was Katie Johnson talking about how she had met Donald Trump through Jeffrey Epstein.
I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump. I was 13. Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's that was responsible for throwing the sex parties. Jeffrey Epstein knew that I was 13 years old. When he interviewed me, he asked me to get down to my bra, just my panties, and I thought that was weird, but I mean, modeling, maybe it was something about my figure. And he asked that I give him a massage. So then he asked me my age. He asked me, and I told him, told him that I was 13. I told him why I was there. And as far as Donald Trump, he knew that I was 13, and I believe that Tiffany told him he seemed to take a liking to me because I was I was so young, and I was also a virgin. So I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't really into having girls that were liked by the other guys. He kind of, the whole glove. He kind of liked things to be his first. If that, for lack of a better term, but he was the one who wanted to get to a girl before everyone else did.
That woman went through a lot more detail. There was also lawsuits that she had filed with a lot more disgusting detail that, honestly, I didn't even really want to play more of. I skipped by some of the things that she said that Epstein did to her. Also, there was other allegations in lawsuits that she said Donald Trump did to her. But again, she pointed out she was 13 years old. And people had seen that and seen that. I think there was 2 to 3 lawsuits that she had filed and then had taken back. And then, pulled back and didn't continue on down that process. And, many people looked at that as proof. Oh, look, she was lying. No one fully knows. But what we do know is there's many folks who are threatened, as they allege that she was. Of course, Donald Trump denied all that. But then threatened, as she said that she was. And that's the reasons why those suits and those charges were pulled back. There's also someone else, Virginia Giuffre, who is no longer with us, who was a big time had big allegations against Epstein and his whole circle of people, and she was threatened as well too. It's not uncommon for powerful people who are on the line and cornered potentially on something like this to then get to threatening folks, and then folks end up dead, including the guy that was running the whole thing in the first place.